Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Monday, April 1st, 2024. Lance Brock here. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. Don't worry, not going to try any April Fool's jokes or gags here on this Monday morning episode of GMWF. But be careful, because I have noticed that a lot of times the wrestling news sites do plant fake stories. Since today is April Fool's Day, as a joke, think it's funny. But we are now getting closer and closer to the biggest weekend of the whole year for pro wrestling, as we got WrestleMania 40 Saturday and Sunday, and a whole lot of other pro wrestling going on as well. Here's the plan so far. Hopefully I'll be able to do it. I'm not saying exactly how many episodes or podcasts there will be this week, but I do plan on doing multiple episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, talking about all of the events from WrestleMania weekend. Like I said, I'm not saying exactly how many for sure I'll be doing or when I'll be doing them, but I definitely do plan on doing some extra episodes this week, especially more this weekend while WrestleMania weekend is going on. As many of you know, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm sure you are definitely one of the diehard pro wrestling fans. But now, WrestleMania weekend is definitely more than just WWE. Friday night, you got Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and you got Game Changer Wrestling, with all their stuff going on. And also, I believe DDT has a show there in Philly. I'm not sure if that one's going to be streamed anywhere or not. To be honest, it might be on the Wrestle Universe site, as well as WrestleCon, presented by High Spots, and the Mark Hitchcock Memorial will be as well. So to say this is a big pro wrestling weekend is an understatement, as we get ready for the biggest event of the year for pro wrestling and all the other great pro wrestling action that will be going on that weekend. But before we get to this weekend, let's talk about tonight. WWE Monday Night Raw and the go-home episode of Raw before this weekend's WrestleMania 40. And tonight, Raw will be live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Already advertised for tonight, The Rock will be in Brooklyn, and I believe Roman Reigns will also be making an appearance as well. Also, speaking of the Tribal Chief, last night his episode of Biography aired on A&E's Superstar Sunday, which I'll talk about more about that in a little bit when I finish Raw. But also on Raw tonight, we have Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree teaming up to take on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. The Judgment Day will take on DIY and the New Day. And of course, remember that the first hour of Raw tonight will be commercial free, as they do every once in a while. And this is the big go home episode before Mania, so it doesn't really surprise me. But first hour of Raw will be commercial free. And maybe I'm just being a little nitpicky here, but the last time that they did do this first hour commercial free, I'm pretty sure that they ended up going to the first commercial break of the night around 8:58, 8:59. Technically, before the first hour was over. Like I said, that's just a little thing that I noticed. Maybe I am being a little nitpicky, maybe complaining a little too much. I'm sure most people didn't think it was a big deal at all. But back to last night, WWE Superstar Sunday on A&E. We had Rivals, and I believe the season finale of Biography WWE Legends, Roman Reigns. First off, I just want to say Rivals is a show that I turn on, but it's just kind of like most documentaries about a feud that they've had before. I wouldn't say it's really anything special, but the episode last night with The Miz and Daniel Bryan was definitely better than I thought it was going to be, and for once I was actually into this episode of Rivals and was paying attention to it. It could be that like the Miz and Daniel Bryan feud isn't one really that they've had a lot of documentaries about and have talked about it over and over and over. So it did seem kind of fresh, and Bryan Danielson is one of my favorite wrestlers, so that could have been why I was interested a little more than most episodes. But I definitely recommend Daniel Bryan vs. The Miz episode of WWE Rivals if you have not seen it yet. And then Biography WWE Legends, Roman Reigns, which I actually thought was pretty good as well. I don't know if I would say I really expected anything going into it, whether it be good or bad, but it was pretty good. I also recommend that if you have not seen it yet. Biography WWE Legends, Roman Reigns. If for some reason you don't have A&E on, if you still have cable, which I'm pretty sure most cable satellite companies have A&E, but if you don't and only use streaming, it is available on the A&E app. I'm pretty sure it's free. I don't know if you have to log in with a cable or a satellite thing or not, but it is available on the A&E app, and I believe their website too as well. So that is all for this Monday morning episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. thank you everyone for listening, downloading, either here on Spreaker or wherever you listen to 360 Wrestling Podcast. And remember yesterday, the special Easter episode of 360 Good Morning Wrestling Fans. The store was closed yesterday, so didn't have work. So I was home at the 360 studios instead of walking to work like I normally am. And for the first time, we had a video version of Good Morning Wrestling Fans as available on the 360 Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel. So if you can, check that out. And hope everyone enjoys the Go Home episode of Raw tonight. And I will talk to you all tomorrow morning. Until then, have a great pro wrestling day.